Now, more Fox Toledo News.
Half a world away, a nation is in conflict. And helping to maintain stability in the volatile region of Kosovo, members of the Ohio Army National Guard. Our Ronnie Dahl traveled thousands of miles to meet up with the troops as they take part in NATO's peacekeeping mission. It's a story you'll see only on Fox Toledo.
There are 18,000 soldiers from 37 different countries serving in the Kosovo region. Their mission to make this area safe and secure. 1999. The crisis in Kosovo reaches the breaking point. As a result of clashes between Serbian military forces and Kosovar Albanian forces, thousands of people are killed, 400,000 others forced out of their homes. When no resolution is reached, Operation Allied Force is launched. After 77 days of airstrikes, both parties agree to talks. And on June 10, 1999, the UN Security Council passes Resolution 1244. Shortly after, KFOR security forces roll into Kosovo.
Some of our main missions that we have is presence patrols, safe and secure environment for these individuals.
Broadsword 3, this is Broadsword 6, over.
Now, more than 5 years later, KFOR is still patrolling the region, keeping the peace.
Tell me about how you got to play in the snow.
Among them, Staff Sergeant Robert Wright, a corrections supervisor from Defiance.
We look for any signs of trouble, any type of things that would indicate ethnic tensions.
From the sky to the ground.
And there's a lot of weapons out there, so we try and confiscate weapons.
Through villages and cities, churches and mosques.
They will absolutely invite you into their home when we're doing patrols and stuff.
We do what are vehicle checkpoints, which is basically like a traffic stop. And we'll search cars at random.
Nearly 1,000 Ohio National Guard members are serving in Kosovo.
Used to be a multi-ethnic town. There's now about 2,800 people living here, and the vast majority of them are Albanian.
All trying to come to grips with the conflict of a country that dates back hundreds of years.
Both sides really don't get along because the Serbs feel that the Albanians are trying to force them out.
A conflict that can seem so far away from their own upbringing, but they try to understand.
In a lot of ways, it's kind of like things that happened in America a long time ago with our segregation between Albanian and Serbian.
But it's a mission they all say is deserving of their personal sacrifices.
This is for you.
This has been a big part of reducing the violence in this region and helping these people achieve stability. So, yes, it's important.
They're really happy to have Americans here. The children love us. You go through the town and you're like a rock star.
As of right now, there is no final date to completely remove the troops from this region, but transition has already started to take place to give the power back to the locals. Reporting on the scene in Kosovo, Ronnie Dahl, Fox Toledo News.
A Fox Toledo special assignment now. Many of us know little about Kosovo and its conflict, but for nearly 1,000 members of the Ohio National Guard sent to serve in the region, it's a conflict they've come to understand.
Fox Toledo's Ronnie Dahl was in Kosovo with the soldiers and has more in our special report. Citizen soldiers keeping peace. It's a story you'll see only on Fox Toledo.
Before being deployed to Kosovo, many of the troops knew little about the conflict and its people. But after serving in the region and hearing for themselves the horrific accounts some people have endured, Ohio's troops are proud of their work and of bringing hope to an area that has been through so much.
This is part of Yugoslavia, or what used to be Yugoslavia.
From some views, Kosovo is very picturesque. Snow-capped mountains and vast open land. But a closer look reveals the scars of war. Piles of rubble where homes once stood and bullet-ridden walls where people once prayed.
It's been a few years ago this cemetery was desecrated by we assume the Albanians here in town after all the Serbs left.
Just the infrastructure's not there. They don't have a whole lot of electricity, they don't have sewers.
Most roads aren't paved and at times can be impassable, especially for U.S. forces.
You drive down roads that are made for Yugos and you're in a Humvee. It's really tough.
Massive amounts of trash litters the streets. Many homes are abandoned, others sit bombed out. Unemployment rates are 60 to 70%, but there has been progress, mainly in the form of stability. Stability which U.S. forces helped happen.
This is the longest that they've had peace for 5 years. And I think that's the biggest thing that we bring to this mission is that we allow peace to happen here.
By American standards, it may seem hopeless, but a lot has happened in just a short period of time.
You got to remember that it has only been 5 years, and there's a lot of rebuilding to do.
Without the bombs and fighting, that rebuilding could get done, and this region just might be able to one day stand on its own.
They absolutely love U.S. soldiers.
But that's a decision these troops can't make.
Whether it becomes independent or not, that's not up to us.
But only hope for.
You know, the international community has to decide, is Kosovo going to become independent or is it going to stay part of Serbia?
Schools are still segregated in Kosovo, but recently the Ohio troops helped organize a volleyball game with both Albanian and Serbian kids, something that just last year would have been unheard of. They hope the children will carry on the message of peace. In the meantime, the UN has scheduled meetings later this year to talk about a final resolution in Kosovo. Ronnie Dahl, Fox Toledo News, first at 10.
In 1999, NATO-led forces rolled into Kosovo to bring an end to the violence and human suffering. More than 5 years later, the peacekeeping mission is still going strong. Now, our Ronnie Dahl went to Kosovo, and tonight brings us an inside look at one Ohio soldier's journey in the war-torn country. In this story, you'll see only on Fox Toledo.
Shane Whitaker is a member of the Ohio Army National Guard.
It's been a real eye-opener.
He's serving a 6-month deployment in Kosovo as part of NATO's peacekeeping mission.
With the different ethnic groups in the past for decades have come into this country and have ravished the land and the people.
More than 5 years after the war of 1999, signs of the struggle are still evident across Kosovo. Many homes sit abandoned, some were burned, others bombed. All come with horror stories of the war.
Some of the higher-powered Serbians would come into towns and just kick people out of their houses and say, grab what you can, get out now. You look at the countryside and see the devastation and just, you're like, how can they live like this?
Walking among the rubble and the people, Shane has learned a lot about the scars of war and the resolve of the human spirit.
You start talking to these people and you realize how strong they are and how motivated they are. And it's actually inspiring. Just because the fighting's over doesn't mean the battle's over. And this battle here in Kosovo is continuing.
A battle this soldier believes is worth fighting. In Kosovo, Ronnie Dahl, Fox Toledo News.
Now, you just saw troops from the 2nd Squadron, 107th Cavalry at work in Kosovo. Today in Sandusky, those troops made their way back home. Fox Toledo's Murph Price was at the emotional homecoming. He has more.
It's been a long 8 months, and we're really glad to be home.
Shane Whitaker is finally home, and his wife and daughter have missed him so much they've been counting down the days until they could see him again.
216 and a half days. Far too long.
Shane, too, has been thinking about this day, even before he began his tour.
I've been anticipating this moment for 8 months since the day that we had to say goodbye.
For Shane, the best part about being home is seeing his daughter Selena. Half of her life, a picture represented Daddy, but not anymore.
She's walking now and getting into everything, and I missed a lot, and I can't wait to catch up on it all.
It took a second to sink in, but once Leanne realized she wasn't dreaming, she couldn't help but get emotional.
He's home. My best friend is home. And in one piece. And how much more could I ask beyond that? And her daddy is home.
Shane and the other troops aren't sure how long they'll be home.
Strike hard, strike fast!
But they say one thing is certain. While they're here, there's no such thing as too many hugs and kisses from their loved ones. Mert Price, Fox Toledo News, first at 10.
Specialist Jason Cox from Defiance is one of nearly 1,000 members of the Ohio National Guard serving in Kosovo right now. He's proud of the work that he and others are doing in the peacekeeping process, but admits this Christmas will be like no other.
I got a patrol that day, so I'll be out and about in a Humvee somewhere being cold and thinking, man, I'd like to be at home.
While we can't give the soldiers what they really want this Christmas, and that is to be home, Fox Toledo, along with Barney's and Tom's Tire, is at least helping the soldiers reach out to their families with phone cards. More than 41,000 minutes donated by people from Northwest Ohio. Phone cards. We delivered them in person to the troops. You've been stationed out here for the past several months. How important are the phone cards to the soldiers?
It's very important. The soldiers always enjoy getting this to call back home to the friends and families, especially during the holidays.
Yeah. This is for you. Okay.
It helps some to be able to call home and bring some normalcy to your life, being able to talk to your family and friends.
A little normalcy in a world that is thousands of miles from the comforts of home and so very different.
I appreciate every day that I live in America.
Reporting from Kosovo, Ronnie Dahl, Fox Toledo News, first at 4. A postmaster from Northwest Ohio traveled thousands and thousands of miles to here at Camp Bonsdale, all to make a very special delivery to his own employee.
Merry Christmas. This is Clyde Post Office. Rob speaking. May I help you? Yes, there is delivery today. The carriers will be out there and we'll be delivering where it's safe today. We want to get the Christmas start to them. Post office, we deliver.
Especially if you're Postmaster Rob Alt.
Merry Christmas to you.
He is used to making deliveries in Northwest Ohio and has even done some traveling to make sure the mail gets to his customers.
Farthest I went was probably, I think I went 60 miles one time when they missent a package, but we got it there that day. Have a safe trip.
But his last job took a bit longer, and that's because the delivery included a trip thousands of miles to Kosovo. Postmaster Alt hand-delivered Fremont letter carrier Patrick Colston's Christmas presents.
These two gifts, delivered by your boss, the post office. I consider myself your friend. From your son and your wife. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you.
No.
It's hard being away and not being able to exchange.
Colson had to leave his life as a U.S. postal worker behind when he was called to active duty to serve in NATO's peacekeeping mission in Kosovo. Alt recognized his employees' sacrifice. He tied yellow ribbons on the mail trucks and took days out of his schedule to hand over Colston's presents. As for his employee, Colston tells us after months of being away from home, it was nice to see a familiar face, even if it was his boss.
Gives me a little taste of home, and something I haven't had for a few months. So, thank you.
You know, that was an honor doing that, bringing the guy his Christmas presents. I didn't see any UPS trucks out there. No.
When Patrick returns to Fremont, he has his job at the post office waiting for him. As for me, I think I'm getting pretty good at this. I'm going to check in, see if they need any temporary help. Reporting on the scene in Kosovo, Ronnie Dahl, Fox Toledo News. Hundreds of soldiers from Northwest Ohio will not get to spend the holidays with their families this year, but they will be spending it with their extended family here at Camp Bonsdale. Christmas in Kosovo for Northwest Ohio's National Guardsmen is full of different sights but familiar holiday cheer.
We set up a Christmas tree. We have a gift exchange going on among members of our platoon. And yes, we're definitely going to remember that it's Christmas.
Members of my section are going to get together and we're having a little gift exchange and just spend some time together and kind of support each other.
There's nothing more depressing than opening up Christmas presents by yourself. So a bunch of us are going to get together and, hopefully it won't be so bad.
The soldiers are trying to make the best of the holidays. The U.S. military base is adorned with Christmas decorations. There's Frosty and Santa. And even a local children's choir to cheer the troops up.
I got the packages.
Some of the soldiers got the chance to talk with their families through a video conference, but seeing loved ones can be a reminder of things that won't be this holiday season.
Initially it's good, but long term it's harder. But when you go back and you think about it, it's actually a little bit depressing.
And despite the decorations and the kids singing, Christmas in Kosovo won't be Christmas at home.
Just sent home a package. My wife got the Christmas package yesterday and my daughter went nuts and I wasn't there to see it. So there's some memories I won't get back, but it's a small price to pay for the security of our country.
Reporting with the Ohio National Guard in Kosovo, Ronnie Dahl, Fox Toledo News.
This is the first Christmas Elaine and Shane Whitaker will be apart from each other since they were married. Today, she and their daughter Celine watch a message from their soldier, his simple words bringing her to tears.
Hi, Leanne. It's me, Shane, here in Kosovo. Miss you and Celine very much.
How would somebody else feel if their best friend was over there? But I understand what he has to do, and I understand what has to be done.
This is a special moment for her, actually seeing Shane. She says they usually keep in touch online. The couple served their country together in the past. Now she waits for his safe return.
For us, it's hard, but it's not as hard as some. But I get to have human moments today.
Dada. Wish I could be there. I know this is going to be a hard year. And I'm thinking about you.
It's hard.
Danielle says seeing her husband Patrick Holston is difficult for her and their son Connor. This photo with all of them together, smiling, is a moment she longs to share again.
I love you all, and I'll see you soon.
It's different for him this time too because he's actually got people back home. Yeah. So, but we're gonna make it.
Troops in the 1st Battalion, 148th Infantry got the chance to come home today after serving in Kosovo for 9 months. Fox Toledo's Mert Price was at the troops' homecoming, and he has the story you'll only see on Fox Toledo.
Although the celebration is over, there are many families who are still smiling tonight. The families of all the troops who made their way to Lima today for a welcome home ceremony.
Gordon actually represents.
Feels real good. Been waiting for a while and family's here, so that's good. And pretty excited.
I'm glad that they're home and we missed them all, and I'm just proud of all the guys that are returning home, and I'm glad they're all back safe, and I just wanted to...
As soon as the troops walked into the building, people went crazy. Troops were met with signs, flags, and plenty of hugs and kisses. This soldier may look familiar. That's because he was featured in our special reports from Kosovo. He says the stories really meant a lot to his people here at home.
Actually, it was great. Due to the fact that I think it actually gives a lot of the family, people that live around the area and our viewing area, a taste of what we actually did. Instead of just passing it by word of mouth, they actually got to see a little bit of it in person.
Now, the troops say they'll be home for a while, and they will enjoy every minute they have with their loved ones. Mert Price, Fox Toledo News, 1st at 10.
First, fast, fair. Fox Toledo News, 1st at 4 starts right now.
1st at 4, dozens of Northwest Ohio families are back together today.
They've been separated for months as their loved ones helped keep the peace in Kosovo in the Ohio National Guard. Mert Price is on the scene in Sandusky with his happy homecoming. Mert.
We're here in downtown Sandusky, and just a couple of hours ago,
the troops from the 2nd Squadron, the 107th Battalion, just made it home. Joining us is one of those troops who's happy to be home. Excuse me, sir. What's your name?
Paul Foote.
Paul Foote. How do you feel that you're back home? How does it feel when you jumped off the buses and you saw your family and friends waiting for you?
I couldn't believe it. It was a total surprise. I didn't think they would go this far, or this far out of their way to have something like this for the troops. It's great.
How long have you been counting down the time until you could come back home?
Since we left. Since we left, yeah.
This is your wife, right? How does it feel to have your husband finally home after 8 months?
Well, it seems like it was forever. Like it took him like he was gone for a long time, but now it just seems like he was never gone. Yeah. It's great to have him back.
Okay. And we have a sister-in-law that came all the way in from North Carolina.
Carolina.
How does it feel? What made you feel that it was so important to ride all the way here from North Carolina to see your brother-in-law?
Because he's protecting our families. He's protecting everybody, him and the soldiers, and it was important to show our support, even from North Carolina.
Tune in to Fox Toledo First at 10, and I'll have more on the soldiers' homecoming here in Sandusky. As for now, reporting on the scene in Sandusky, Mark Price, Fox Toledo News, First at 4.